A United States aircraft carrier captain lives in 2 cabins, but truly calls neither home. He sleeps 5 hours if lucky, and he is always 10 seconds from the bridge. When you are trusted with nuclear power, 75 jets, and the lives of 5,000 people, comfort is not part of the deal. Command is. But how do these high-ranking fighter pilots really endure this relentless pressure at sea? The answer changes everything you thought you knew about leadership and sacrifice. Inside the island structure of a modern aircraft carrier, the captain's world shrinks to 100 square feet. The sea cabin sits just steps from the bridge, no wider than a compact office and no longer than a small bedroom. There is a single bunk, a desk crowded with duty logs and orders, and a bathroom built for function, not comfort. The design is blunt, everything within arm's reach, nothing to slow him down. In the quiet between alarms, this is where the captain grabs fragments of sleep, ready to move at any hour. If a fire breaks out on the flight deck or a radar blip demands attention, he is on the bridge in 10 seconds. That is not a figure of speech, it is a requirement. Every second counts when 5,000 lives and $13 billion of a warship are at stake. Survival. A few decks below, the in-port cabin tells a different story. 4 times the size, with a private bedroom, a sitting room that doubles as an office, and a bathroom with real space to breathe. Here the captain hosts admirals, foreign officers, and dignitaries. The walls might display memorabilia tied to the ship's namesake, and the furnishings are meant to impress. But at sea, this suite sits mostly empty. Comfort gives way to necessity. The captain's real home is the cramped sea cabin, chosen for its proximity, not its amenities. The in-port cabin is for ceremony and diplomacy. Diplomacy. Former captains describe the trade-off with no hint of regret. The sea cabin is not about luxury. It is about readiness. In a crisis, there is no time for long walks or hesitation. The shortest path from bunk to bridge is a matter of survival. Every detail, from the Spartan layout to the 10-second dash, is engineered for one purpose: to keep the captain at the center of the action, day and night. Readiness. On a carrier, the line between living space and command post disappears. For the captain, home is wherever the mission demands. Command. Pre-dawn darkness doesn't slow the pace inside the captain's sea cabin. The first knock comes before sunrise. Overnight reports, weather updates, and flight schedules land on his desk while most of the ship is still asleep. The day's tempo is set before the sun climbs above the horizon. Flight operations dominate the morning. On the flight deck, jets line up for launch, each one catapulted from 0 to nearly 150 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. The captain monitors every movement from the bridge, his eyes shifting from radar screens to the deck below, ready to authorize a launch or halt everything at the first sign of trouble. Each decision carries weight. One mistake at this speed can mean disaster. Inside the cabin, the routine is relentless. Briefings with the executive officer, rapid-fire updates from department heads, and a steady stream of digital messages demand constant attention. The inbox fills faster than it can be cleared. There is no such thing as a quiet hour. The executive officer, often the only peer who sees the captain's fatigue up close, describes the rhythm as unyielding. Decisions come in bursts, sometimes a dozen in a single minute, each one urgent, none routine. Meals are quick, squeezed into gaps between crises. There is no dining ritual, no time to linger. Sleep comes in fragments, usually 5 or 6 hours total, broken by alarms or urgent calls. The captain learns to rest with one ear open, ready to be on the bridge in seconds. Fatigue is constant, but the mission does not pause. Over time, the sleep debt grows, measured not in hours, but in decisions made under pressure. The cabin is never truly quiet. Even in darkness, the tempo of command presses on, demanding focus, resilience, and a willingness to trade comfort for control. Every aircraft carrier runs on a strict chain of command, visible in every passageway and sleeping compartment. At the top sits the commanding officer, a Navy captain with absolute authority over the ship. Just below him is the executive officer, XO, who translates orders into action and manages the daily pulse of 5,000 people. The XO's stateroom is close to the captain's, but space is still tight. Function over comfort. Department heads, each responsible for critical areas like engineering, flight operations, or medical, report to the XO and the captain. Senior officers share staterooms, 2 or 3 to a room, balancing privacy with the need for constant readiness. For enlisted sailors, the reality is different. Berthing compartments hold 8 to 12 sailors, stacked in triple-tiered bunks, lockers squeezed between. Personal space is measured in inches, not feet. The Command Master Chief, the senior enlisted advisor, knows every compartment and hears every complaint about crowding or noise. He acts as the bridge between the captain and the crew, carrying concerns up the ladder and orders back down. This pyramid, captain at the peak, layers of officers and chiefs beneath, and hundreds of sailors sharing close quarters at the base, keeps the carrier running. Scarcity of space is not a flaw, it is a fact of life, shaping everything from daily routines to morale. Space on a carrier is more than a comfort, it is a sign of responsibility, earned through decades of service. Most enlisted sailors live with just 50 square feet each, sharing crowded berthing compartments with up to a dozen shipmates. Junior officers get a modest upgrade, about 80 square feet, often split with 2 or 3 others. But the captain's total living area, spread across his 2 cabins, tops 500 square feet, more than 10 times what a new sailor receives. That physical distance from the crowd is not about luxury. It is the result of a career-long gauntlet, a narrowing funnel that starts with thousands of aspiring naval aviators. Only a handful make it through the years of flight hours, command tours, and combat deployments. Out of more than 10,000 officers, just 11 are trusted with carrier command at any one time. The final hurdle is a selection board that scrutinizes every evaluation, every moment under stress. One black mark, one lapse in judgment or leadership, can end the dream instantly. The privilege of space is a visible reminder. The captain lives apart because he carries the weight that few ever will. The aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford is not just a ship. It is a $13 billion platform built to project power anywhere on Earth. Stretching 1,106 feet from bow to stern and weighing in at nearly 100,000 tons, the Ford-class towers over the ocean and supports a floating air wing of 75 advanced aircraft. 11 decks run beneath the flight deck, housing command centers, reactor spaces, living quarters, and medical facilities. Nuclear reactors drive the entire operation, providing enough energy to launch jets, power advanced radar, and keep the ship running for months without refueling. At the heart of this innovation is EMALS, the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System. EMALS hurls fighters skyward with precise, computer-controlled force and replaces the old steam catapults. Every system, every inch of steel, is designed for one purpose: to give the captain and crew the tools to control a city-sized warship at sea. The scale of responsibility is measured not just in miles or tons, but in the lives and missions that depend on the captain's command. A Navy captain at the helm of an aircraft carrier draws a base salary of $170,000 a year, with a housing allowance adding another $36,000. Hazard pay and subsistence bring the total to just under $200,000. Solid compensation, but a fraction of what a chief executive officer would earn for managing a company of similar size and complexity. After 20 years, the captain is eligible for a pension, guaranteeing income for life, an anchor for families who endure years of separation and uncertainty. The benefits package includes full medical and dental coverage, 30 days of leave, and access to veteran services. Still, the numbers tell only part of the story. The captain's paycheck reflects public service, not private profit. He commands a warship worth $13 billion and 5,000 lives in dangerous waters. Responsibility measured in lives, not dollars. Right now, just 11 people on Earth shoulder this command. Each is trusted with nuclear power, billions of dollars in assets, and 5,000 lives. Their choices ripple far beyond the waves. In a world where a single decision can change history, leadership at sea remains a test few will ever face. What would you decide?